that working? Yes. Good afternoon, folks. So as of Monday, Prohibition era in South Africa is over. Well, sort of. Cake sales to restaurants and other on-consumption venues are still not possible. But whilst the worst is over, there's still some tough times ahead for craft beer in South Africa. And now, more than ever, these guys need you. When restocking on Monday, please buy with your conscience. If you cannot put a face to the beer, then perhaps you're not supporting the salvation of this industry. Whether the face is Sylvie from Biggest Little Beer Shop or Steve from Shackleton, buy from guys that care about this industry, not from corporate stores like supermarkets. Today I'm joined by three guests that have done so much to grow craft beer in South Africa. Welcome along to Greg from Afro Caribbean and Banana Jam, Brendan from Frontier and Best Craft Beer, and Steve from Shackleton. Thanks. Wait, let's make that unmute. No, let Brendan in for a start. That would be good. Unmute you guys. There we go. Thanks, guys, for joining us. I appreciate it must be pretty hectic right now with everything that's getting ready for Monday. Oh, why are you still muted?
There we go.
There we go.
How's it, Brandon?
Thanks for joining us, guys.
Hi, everyone.
Hectic, eh? Busy.
Very.
How's it been?
Are you, Brendan?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty adult, I must say. I'm up at 4 a.m. every day.
How have sales been going, Brendan?
Nice for a change.
How's online sales been going?
Yeah, completely pumping and to be perfectly shitting myself.
How much stuff is getting collected on Monday?
Yeah, well, quite a lot's going on Monday, but we've got stuff arriving from the Cape at sort of date X, and trying to just manage the expectations around. And yeah, just tasking as many waybills as I can. I never really like 2 man days.
I missed that. Sorry, what did you say?
Just said the waybills are the killer.
Yeah. Does your system not auto print them?
It doesn't have the API. They also bring their own problems. So just a bit of good old manual slog.
Yeah. So it's going to be pretty hectic on Monday.
Oh yeah, and Sunday and tomorrow.
And before I finish this beer, Greg, this is a new one being released, eh? On Monday.
It's out already. You can buy it already on the site, along with a bunch of others we've been releasing throughout the week. So raspberry shortbread, there's jacked up blonde, there's a collab we did in secret in lockdown illegally with Spike from Terrapin from the US. We've also got Fuck Rona.
Got that to come.
Which is Fuck Rona. That was released today. Agent Hillary came out on Wednesday. And we're just doing some fun stuff. We've had some time. We've been secretly brewing because no one can see us upstairs in the brewery. So it's been quite a lot of fun.
Not so secret now. You got 9. You just told 9 other people. Or 11 now.
It's okay. They can come in.
Well, Becky's watching this, eh?
Yeah.
So we've got some new stuff coming out in the next couple of weeks as well. We're just going to keep brewing and carrying on. It's just a strange having to change your business model on a monthly basis because the government decides you can do this or can't do that. So it's been a bit. But drinking has been totally fine, like on the side. That's been normal.
Yeah. And Steve, you've been carrying this week as well. Sorry.
Yeah, the guys are busy going at the moment. I don't know if it's a bit loud in the background noise. I can move somewhere quieter. Is it all right?
I can hear it. I
Okay.
don't know how it is for.
I think I'll shift across.
Okay.
But yeah, we've been cooking to get ready for next week.
Yeah.
It's a weird position to be in for us because canning is not or packaging and bottle or can is not it has never been part of the business. So it's now
No.
It's now what the business has to be. So
like
pivoting and transforming, it's good.
You've done bigger canning runs, like to have stock before, but not continuous ones. So
Yes, yeah. Now the guys are just working flat out.
yeah.
So it's quite cool. It's nice. It's nice to have like a refreshing side of the business now. We're dealing with new challenges of taking orders, processing orders, and Brendan, this is your domain. I'm learning a lot about the online space.
Have you set up an online shop?
Yeah, we have. We've got it on our site, but there's a whole bunch of problems with it. But we've outsourced a company to do it for us, and that's going to be up and finished by today. So quite stoked that when that's going to be up.
Well, and Gloria, if you must look at something called Gloria Foods. It's basically a site that you can build an online menu and link it into your site. We use that for Banana Jam. So for our food orders from Banana Jam, it's a free site, and the only time you have to pay for it is if you want to create an app for your phone. It converts your basically menu into an app that can go onto like Android or iPhone, and then you literally just click the app order, and you can process it and things like that, and it sends an order straight to your like iPad or whatever, things like that, which is quite cool. But yeah, trying to get online stores up. I think there are a lot of people trying to do that at the moment.
I think I've found that it takes a lot of work if it's something that you've never done before.
You must just use Wix. We built ours on Wix, which is it's expensive because you got to pay for the store, you got to pay for the website, you got to pay for the payment portal like PayFast or whatever. But once it's together, it's pretty seamless. And it's not like you had anything else to do during lockdown, Steve.
I've
just
had
weed
drinking
and
today, and the occasional surf. Yeah.
So, Greg, Robin asks, any of those Afro Caribbean beers heading up to Hillcrest Tops in KZN anytime soon, like Agent Hillary?
I haven't actually even spoken to them, but I know you'll be able to get Agent Hillary. Well, there are a few cases going to Brendan from Best Craft Beer in my bottom corner there. So you'll be able to order from him, and he'll be able to ship to you. So what we're doing is, if you're not in Cape Town, order from Best Craft Beer. Brendan, you should have that stuff up. I'll send you all the images probably tomorrow, and you'll have them up by Monday. I'll send you what.
Yeah, within a day of you sending the images, they'll definitely be up.
Okay, cool. Because I'm sending you a few cases of Lockdown Brown and Agent Hillary, so you'll get them, and along with some Dissidents and some more Obsession. I know everything else is sold out. The 157 we're sending you is amazing. We have another batch in tank, so that can come to you soon as well. So we definitely
that sold out pretty quick, and I think I've been drinking the margins on Afro Caribbean the last couple of months.
Something I've been short stocked on is some good hoppy beers.
This is really good.
We've got the hops. Yeah, the rye brings out a bit of spice in that, doesn't it?
I love rye, but it's not overpowering like rye can be. It's just like subtly spiced, but with the fruity tropicalness there as well. It balances really nicely.
It was only about 10% or so rye, but Spike from Terrapin, his first win in Great American Beer Fest was his rye pale ale. So whenever he does collabs, he always does ryes. And the Agent Hillary is when we were in Costa Rica together, we met this guy we were convinced was a secret agent, and his name was Hillary. He was from Canada. So that's where the name comes from. So there's a full story behind it and everything. It's pretty cool.
I thought it had with Hillary Clinton and various sort of...
No. It's literally a guy we met and stayed near us in Costa Rica in this little town. And wherever we went, he was everywhere. Wherever we went, he was there. And he was this big guy. He looked like a secret agent that was sort of like looked after the president or something. And like he was classic. But but with a name like Hillary, you know, it's not a very like manly name, but this oak was probably beat the shit out of you like that. So yeah, we came up with this whole Agent Hillary story, and hence the beer. So yeah,
Nice bit of
and
Simcoe.
I was supposed to be in Costa Rica now. Like after Spike came for the powwow, we were supposed to go back to Costa Rica. So that's why we brewed the beer.
Nice bit of Simcoe in here as well, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
That's true.
Greg, can
yeah.
you tell me a bit about the rye in this?
No, we just put 10% rye, and the rye brings out like it's spicy. So the last beer we did with him was we did a rye New England a few years ago.
That was really nice. I like that one a lot.
Yeah, but we found basically we did a rye New England, but we used South African hops for dry hopping. And South African hops are quite spicy. You know, they've got that like oniony garlic thing going on. And it was just actually, I thought it was a bit too much with the rye, because the rye can bring out a lot of spice in the beer. So
yeah,
this one's
we
a bit more
quite a lot. And it's quite weird, rye. Like it gives you body, but without heaviness or sweetness. It's quite an interesting grain to work with. You definitely get that spice, and it's, you know, you can't be too heavy-handed with it on especially pale beers, because it's just definitely an unusual grain to work with. I mean, I love playing around with it. Our red rye ale is one of those white whales I keep chasing. You know, there's some kind of beer I have in mind that one day I might make. Rye has a lot of that, because it's just such a, you know, an interesting grain to play around with on quality.
Can be a bit of a nightmare in the mash tun sometimes, eh? Too bigger quantities. Although I did I brewed a rye whiskey in lockdown, and that was 51% rye in the Grainfather, and it wasn't terrible, eh? Like it sparged nicely.
Wow. Yeah.
Slowly, but like not stupidly slowly.
Is that the magic of the Grainfather there?
Yeah, I think I got the crush right as well. I think that's a big thing, getting that. You know, like I only hit like 72% efficiency, but it meant it wasn't a bitch of a brew day.
Yeah.
Steve, question from Lucy. Did you turn Amish, and does that mean we can worship at your brewery next week?
I don't have my Amish hat with me. It was at home, actually.
And then Trevor says how sexy you are with that beard. And JC says that you're very sexy with your glasses, Greg.
There we go. Much better.
And David from the UK says how sexy Trevor is without his beard. A lot of love going on here for
Trev can even get mentioned when he's not even on camera.
JC says there's that one guy with a fake British accent. I'm assuming he's referring to you, Steve.
No, man, surely. I think if I was given the title of having an English accent, then I'm doing all of my Durban mates disgrace.
It's the last outpost in Durban, isn't it? It's like your the British hotspot.
Yeah, no, it's the colonized land.
And Brendan, you're from Durban as well, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, so
two Zulu boys here.
I often asked where I was from when I first came up to the Highveld.
It's unusual for someone from Durban to move up to the Highveld, Brendan.
Terrible life choices.
Speaking of churches, have you guys registered as a church?
I'm going to register my house as a church soon.
We have registered upstairs. Lucy and Sean actually registered the upstairs of Afro Caribbean as a church.
Oh, nice.
Banana Jam. So technically, as of next Friday, we're allowed 50 people to come and worship the Spaghetti Monster. Friday is the Pastafari and Holy Day, so we'll be holding sermon. I think probably between 4 and 5 o'clock, or 3 and 6 o'clock, or whatever it is. Technically, we are now a church, so we can legally have 50 people upstairs. We only hold 60, so bring your masks and gloves. But
Greg, we're We're gonna let you go with it and tell us how it goes, and then.
And
if I listen,
the hotspot.
It's Holy Communion beer, though, yeah? Not wine.
Yes. Yeah, no,
I don't
and
wanna-
tequila. And tequila,
Okay,
definitely.
that's
There's
cool.
always tequila.
It's a rum shack, though. Has to be rum.
Oh, but it's tequila and rum. Same. By the 10th one, it doesn't matter anymore.
So Cedar says that he's refreshing best craft beer a couple times a day, just in case there's any new releases. He'll look out for some more on Monday. Maybe Brendan, you can give us some heads up on when when he should be refreshing.
Yeah, we do update it weekly. There's some new stuff coming from Naked Face, Marius, barley wine. There's some stuff from OC Brewery, Gavin. We've also just bottled. It's kind of mostly
Oh, cool.
Oh, nice.
fresh and a big very rum barrel on it. So I think it's kind of winter 2021. And then canned our Karma for the first time, our double IPA. So that I'm excited about that. Pretty rushed brew. I mean, it was my birthday on the 26th of March, the day of lockdown, and it would have spent another couple of days in tank cold crashing. So we had to rush it into keg into the cold room and it. It's pretty rustic. You know, you might get a few hot pots from those cans. Boy, is it punchy! Really flavors. Really hard to kind of put almost extreme dry hopped home brew style beer into commercial sale. So yeah, pretty excited to put it out there. In older months and there's so much.
You got another British wannabe there on your right, Greg.
Hey, Murray.
How was it?
How are you, Murray?
I'm good, thanks. So I'm usually watching on a laptop. So this is my first live experience of Friday Beers. Thanks for having me.
Well, I didn't actually invite you. You just kind of tagged along, but you're very welcome.
No, you can fuck off now. It's fine. Can I say fuck on this program?
Yeah.
I've never seen you this polite.
Who, me?
Me.
Not you. Fuck off.
I've changed. This social distancing shit has changed me. I don't know how to be around people anymore. I can't. Like, I have to be polite. I don't know how to be abusive to them anymore. I'm scared no one will talk to me again, and I'll end up in my little social distancing bubble.
Remain
The only
there.
people he's abusive to is Devil's Peak, man. Come on.
No, JC's watching. I'm going to be nice. He might not talk to me.
Oh. God, I'm blind as shit without that glass. Oh my god. Oh,
Only
yes.
the lager. Only the lager,
Murray's
JC.
near me. Wait, where's Milo?
So,
Okay, we're good now. We're good.
There we go.
oh, that brings me on to a question from Lucy. She wants to know, and don't feel like you have to incriminate yourself live here just to answer this question. She wants to know what the most illegal thing you've done during lockdown is.
Cam's mom.
There was no doubt that was coming.
So we don't need to answer. No one else needs to answer that question. Tell Steve his Kolsch in a 5-litre can. Oh, go on.
Drunk. Bootlegging while drunk. Driving drunk.
Well, right.
Go.
And driving, I probably.
Luckily, Brendan, your voice is cutting out like quite a bit there, so we didn't really catch that, so that's fine. That can definitely not stand up in court. That as evidence.
No, I have no one's recording.
I'm recording live on YouTube.
Oh, brilliant.
Just to clarify.
Sorry, Cam's mom.
I've actually done nothing illegal. I've sat in my house.
Liar.
I'm still in my house.
Surfing. You went surfing, Steve. That was illegal.
I ran out of beers, and I accepted that I ran out of beers. And yeah, that's where I'm at now.
I've taken my son out on his bike after 9 o'clock in the morning on the road in front of our house.
Whoa.
And the fact that we say that is illegal is a pretty sad state of affairs. So,
but guys, you don't have to confess now. You can wait till next Friday and confess in the church of the Holy
Oh, of course.
Monster upstairs at Banana Jam. We're having confession. But you have to have a tequila for every illegal thing you did in lockdown. Fuck, I'm going to get a lot of tequila.
Tracy's also asking about your beard, Steve. Why? Is the question just why?
That's what I said.
It was actually, it came about as a protest for prohibition.
Oh, you can shave it on Monday then.
No, I'm actually just gonna keep it until we're allowed to drink at the bars. Then maybe, I think.
Well,
that's the thing, eh?
When he goes back.
We say it's over on Monday, but you guys have had to swiftly change your, as you mentioned, your business models. I mean, Greg, your Banana Jam is a bar with how many taps? It's like that's all changed.
Yes, well, it looks more like a bottle store. We've got big fridges downstairs now that you can come and buy beer, like can. Because I can. Did you guys know that? I can my beer. But we also
just in case you didn't know.
So,
what do you use to can the beer with, Greg? I don't know.
This amazing company I got a canning line from called Frontier Canning.
Oh, Brendan's company.
Beer, but like with a canning line instead.
How did you come up with that name, Greg?
Frontier trademark.
Trademarks. I didn't think you would mind. Also, I sell him beer in cans, so he doesn't give a shit. The taps will be pouring as of Monday. We are doing growler fills. So we'll be also doing. We're setting up the marquee in the parking lot. You'll be able to do drive-by. It's like a drive-by shooting, but with beer.
With your masks pulled up over your face, so no one can like
spray beer into your car, into your mouth as you drive by.
It's the beer wash.
Yeah. No. So we'll have walk-in. We'll have drive-through. We'll have growler fills. We'll have chias. We'll have church. We're gonna make Banana Jam great again.
And how's the takeaway food business been going? Because that obviously started a bit before Monday.
Well, it's nothing compared to what we like. Like food-wise, it's 10% of our normal turnover, but also technically everybody is doing it. So there are people with who don't even have restaurants, who literally have created places where you can buy food out of their freaking house. So
yeah.
So and also people. In the first week, people were very excited about food and takeaway because they didn't have to cook for themselves.
Yeah.
But people have now realized because they're stuck at home, they have no money, so they can't order food because they're poor. So it's a bit, and I think this week's been particularly slow because I think people are saving every cent for beer. So people aren't eating and they're going to just drink next week, which is fine because I've seen a down on food and an up on booze. I can guarantee that. So,
do you think that's going to be the case with beer as well? It's going to. Well, we have no doubt that it's going to just skyrocket, sell everything, and then it's going to just die down.
We have 8 days to make money. 4 days next week and 4 days the following week. Yeah. After that, every single person will have panic bought so much beer they're not going to be able to. They're not going to need to go to the bottle store for the next 2 months. So I think that's the reality. And now that the government was kind enough to fuck everybody with a off-consumption liquor license by allowing everybody to sell alcohol, not just people who paid the overpriced price for an off-consumption license, that also fucked us as well, I suppose. But a good thing for the country because you don't have to cram people into like 1 or 2 bottle stores. But the people who thought they had an edge because they had an off-consumption license are now going, well, now we're fucked because everyone has an off-consumption license in the entire country. So maybe they'll give us a discount on our fucking on the overpriced price we pay for that license at the end of the year, but probably not. But
I think the key is like not to go and stand in line at at Checkers or Pick and Pay liquor stores, with every other person that's trying to buy alcohol, just to buy a whole load of beer that's probably questionably in date and probably hasn't been stored that cold.
Exactly. So we came up with a thing, this is a card that we're going to hand out in the queue at the bottle store. It's basically a QR code that I'll just go and hand the card out like a business card to people in a bottle store queue. They can scan the QR code, order the beer, leave the bottle store queue, go straight to Banana Jam and buy the beer, and then they can just collect their beer. So that's cool. another angle.
Do you have to have an on-consumption license to have a license?
Off-consumption. Yeah. So you not everyone
you can't be a food vendor on that doesn't have any license. You have to have some sort of
some sort of liquor license.
Any restaurant, any
bar,
pub, anyone can sell.
What about food trucks?
They don't have a license to sell alcohol. So
which they wouldn't.
Not normally.
The funny thing is, if you're in because people can now go to hotels, right? Like if you're on business, you can stay in a hotel. If you're in the hotel, you may not purchase and drink your beer in the hotel. You may purchase the beer, leave the hotel, and drink it outside the hotel. It's basically it. So you can buy the beer from the hotel bar because it's off consumption, but you can't drink it in the hotel. You have to leave the hotel to drink it.
But you can't really drink it out of the hotel. You can't really drink it out of the hotel either, because you're only allowed to drink it in your house, aren't you? You can't drink it on the street. Drinking on the street is not really legal.
Well, unless you put it in a brown paper bag.
Oh yeah, that's always legal then, as long as you cover it up with brown paper.
Makes it legal.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the day
in a brown paper bag.
I'm looking forward to the day that Greg has a warrant officer walk in and him explain all the rules to the warrant officer. Just give us feedback on how the conversation went.
I already did that. And then I gave him a bottle of wine.
How do we move on from that quickly?
Personally, I say bring back level 5. You make much more money as a brewer at level 5. Ask Brendan. Ask Brendan down there. He knows.
So how do we? How do we order from you, Brendan?
Say again?
How do we order beer?
You just go into Best Craft Beer and order beer.
And it gets shipped out to your house.
Yeah, so it's nationwide shipping. We are obviously swamped next week, hoping to have everyone labeled and tasked by Thursday and getting their beer by the weekend, certainly in the province. But it is complicated by beer moving from the Cape to Gauteng. So that's the main complication.
How does the shipping dates work? If you're allowed to buy beer from Monday to Thursday, but when are you allowed to ship beer during that time?
It's like our constitution, very well written with no teeth. So I'm not sure. We're technically only supposed to ship beer Monday to Thursday. But quite frankly, we're going to task our courier guy, who's the courier guy, and let them make up their mind. If they prepare beer, we prepare.
I guess normally shipping beer out of province, you wouldn't ship it after a Thursday anyway, because you wouldn't want it to be stuck in a warehouse over the weekend, right? So
I must say they tend to over deliver. I mean, I've been hell impressed. It would be hugely interesting to see how. But they really are quite an impressive company. The only way to do this, but as it stands right now, 15,000, and will keep coming. So it's scary, but we do have a good system and a good sort of workflow team on board.
Cool. Whose music is that? Is that yours, Brendan?
No.
Backstreet Boys.
Was it the Backstreet Boys? Then it's mine.
No, Just Brendan's voice was cutting out a bit there. I didn't know if it was music in his background.
On my phone, it might be the speakers a bit shit, but there's no music.
Okay. Okay, cool. No worries. I didn't hear. I didn't do a. We couldn't do a sing along. So.
Wasn't loud enough to sing.
Cameron says that that it's completely unworkable. His read was that your website should only allow sales during the allowed times, but they can be delivered anytime as transport is okay 24/7 for allowed e-commerce.
Yeah, there's a clause on e-commerce around. And I can't remember if it's to do with the sale or the transport, but I mean these are funny little technicalities and typical kind of clear as mud legislation.
Yeah.
And we're going to leave it up to Correga to move beer appropriately. You can't stop people buying beer whenever they want. I mean that's daft. Even in stage 5, people were buying beer. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know, without getting it delivered.
Sorry,
but yeah.
Cecily said something like, you may move beer from today, but you may not buy beer today or the weekend, because that means people will move the beer. So you may not move beer from Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, because then people will be drinking beer. So you can't do it because that's what we can't do, or you can, or something. So yeah, it's totally normal. Just go ahead.
Basically, don't buy or move the beer on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But if you want to buy the beer, you can, but it can only be delivered Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
But also, you can't move the beer today, but you can move the beer. But you're not allowed to buy the beer that's moved today. You can just move beer today that you can't buy. So that's what he said.
I think it's going to be my confusing part, just to make sure that people understand they can do what the hell they want.
Yeah, but you can't surf. No surfing, Steve. It's still illegal. Get a fucking permit.
No,
well,
you can.
What I heard is, if you're a professional, if you're a professional sportsman, you can surf. So you just need to be.
Me, I'm a professional sportsman.
No, I'm a professional surfer and a professional brewer. Therefore, I get to do them both together.
I'm a professional drinker. Hence, I can drink on the weekend.
Does anybody need to be paid a rand to be a professional surfer? Because I'm sure we can arrange people to pay you a rand, and then you're a paid professional, right?
Does that work?
Actually, that would be amazing.
Professional is being paid for doing something, so it doesn't matter how much you're paid.
I will sponsor you.
I will pay you to pay me.
No. You sponsor me from your brewery. I'll sponsor you from my brewery. Therefore, we're both professional surfers sponsored by breweries, which means you can surf and drink.
Yeah, and we get our brand out there as well. It'd be brilliant. I like it.
Yeah. Cool.
So Mr. Beer Pants is asking, will you guys be making maximum capacity beer or brewing cautiously in case of a move back to a higher lockdown level?
What lockdown?
We just thought of malt.
A malt drink.
We are brewing full tilt.
Yeah.
100%. Just brew, because at the end of the day is people need beer.
Yeah.
I think if Jack Black or Devil's Peak were brewing full tilt, then it would be a different story. But I think
your risks are much lower.
Yeah, and we've got it's not a massive amount of stock that's like overwhelming cold rooms if we weren't to.
No. But what's your capacity?
I think for us the problem is that our production is linked quite closely to all the overheads, and if we're not able to afford all those overheads by running production and not selling enough because of the change in lockdown regulations, then it's a bit tough.
Well, I mean, you guys have set out purely as a brew pub model, right? I mean, your distribution is quite small, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's like we invested in this property because we wanted to have a bar and a restaurant.
Yeah.
So we may as well move our brewery to a unit that costs $5,000 a month and just brew straight out of that.
Yeah,
But I
somewhere.
don't think we're not gonna give it up very easily. So
No, then moving would be a pain as well, right? So,
exactly, yeah.
yeah. Do you guys all rent your premises?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Greg, you own yours, yeah. Have you had any relief, Brendan and Steve, from your landlords over this time? I'm just going to mute you, Greg, while they're talking because it's noisy in the background there.
Yeah, we did get some relief. We got a month off. Great. But be a little bit incestuous. There's some owners in the brewery that are owners of the property. I don't own the property, although I'm the main owner in the brewery.
Yeah.
So that was lucky. We are subletting, so Naked Face are actually going to move in with us.
Oh, nice.
Which is a lot of fun, yeah. So the nano plant gets more capacity, and we can sweat the barrel room and just play a little bit.
Is he bringing some of the equipment across that he bought from Riot Sold? Yeah. Nice.
We're gonna have two plants in a small space, and there's a distillery joining us as well. So there's all sorts of hooch coming out of the property.
Wow.
But it's just good to have a bit more of a collaborative environment. I mean, I'm often working on my own technique or creatively, so it will be great to have other producers around.
That's it. I like the business model you got there.
Well, yeah, it does cut overheads, and we were struggling, I guess, before COVID, and we're quite a niche brewery, I suppose, and there wasn't a lot of space for us in traditional markets. The guys that cared were small guys that didn't really run a lot of volume. So we saw online as the answer last year, and because we could connect with our customers, we could sort of get a bit better margin and sell more directly, which is what drove us to launch the shop. And I just saw a lot of other breweries in the same space as us, and that's why I opened it up to all the brands. It just felt like South Africans find it hard to get the good stuff, and it shouldn't be that way. So that was the whole vision behind the shop. And then obviously it put us in the fast lane with these new developments. So our traditional market evaporated, but a new one came, which is very exciting. And we just want to make sure we don't fuck it up, basically. But yeah, really excited about getting through the next week and getting good beer into more homes. That's the beginning and end of it.
There we go. I'm in a quieter place now.
Oh, we can hear Greg now. That looks better. Are you in the chapel?
I'm in the holy chapel of the Spaghetti Monster.
That's amazing. I'm gonna open another beer, a different brand this time.
Oh,
yummy! I need to get a beer.
Mike, I'm so desperate for a nice dark beer or a nice hoppy beer. I can't wait for the good days to come back.
I got a sour IPA on tap at home here at the minute. It's I'm really happy with. I love sour beers, so I'm excited for this one, Brendan. I've had it quite a few times before, but it's your Flanders Red, eh?
Yeah. I was really happy with that. I must say it was like a single barrel version, kind of blend the results. So I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out, but I was really pleased with that. With the cheese,
I've actually got some cheese in my fridge. We got talking about cheese last week because Fraser and Neil from Richmond Hill have been making cheese during the lockdown. Have any of you guys been making anything crazy, something new that you haven't done before?
It's a bit boring, but sourdough, I finally got that right. Everyone's been doing the same thing.
Yeah, me too. I got onto the sourdough craze.
He loves the stuff, so
it's quite good fun, eh? There's such correlation between beer and sourdough.
Yeah. What is that?
And Greg,
what
have you been doing? You've been doing other interesting stuff that's not beer.
That's not smoking weed. Oh, can I say that?
Yeah, that's legal. That's fine. Not tobacco, but weed is fine.
30 fucking, oh, look at that.
Don't
What
smoke
about
the Class A
your
tobacco.
distilling with Cam?
That's what I was hinting at. Are you allowed to talk about that?
He just goes straight to the drugs.
So moonshining, yeah, I went straight to the hard drugs, yeah. So yes, moonshining. So obviously with canning, like I suppose pouring beer on tap, there's always a bit of wastage. So we built, Cam and Sean were bored and they were helping me here. So we built a still that basically fits into our my old
keg.
homebrew system. So it's a 50-liter keg with a still on top.
Yeah.
And yeah, we now still all the runoff. So we've been saving all the runoff from the brewery, which is not a lot, but like, you know, there's always beer wastage in a brewery and in a bar and like that. Now we can distill all of it. So there's literally from the brewery to the tap going out, there's now zero wastage of beer, which is a great thing. So we were
using it for sanitizers or stuff.
No. So a while ago, I started doing it, and I used to send it away to be stilled. Not a lot, but like 20, 30 liters here and there. Because again, same as from the restaurant downstairs, our losses on our taps, because we've got 30, is as low as like 8%. But 8% in 10 days is still like 90 liters.
Yeah.
So we were sending that away and getting it stilled and making whiskey, making gin, things like that, which we were just playing around with. So we've got all this stuff. Now we're doing it ourselves, highly illegal. So we're not really selling it, but it's just more of a home project, really. Like,
don't you find that the hop flavors on that sort of stuff carry through? Like, it makes a dirty spirit, though.
So what you do is you'll do like we'll still it off quickly, and then just capture most of it, like heads, tails, everything.
Yeah.
And then you still it a second or third time, and you get a much, and you just keep the hearts, and you split it up a little bit, and you actually get a much cleaner spirit. So you can really start messing around with.
I think because my still is a pot still, so I think I capture way too much of the hop compounds, and it's like I did it a couple of times with shit beer that I made, and it turned into shit spirits. So
what does it taste like if there's hops in there?
No, we do
like the harsh bitterness of it, like the yeah. There was a gin company in Cape Town that used to make
a second or third time.
Yeah, maybe. Lucy's asking, she had a journalist contact her asking if there's likely to be any beer shortages next week. From your side, Brendan, I see you've sold out of a lot of stuff already. So, yeah, are you seeing a shortage on the site?
Yeah, I think we might from side.
I haven't looked at my.
Don't have sort of stock material, so some of those are still coming up, and we've got brewing gaps and cash flow gaps and all these sort of things. But yeah, we'll just keep scouring cold rooms of good beer from various brands and just make sure there's no good beer getting left out there.
You're selling out of stuff, but you're getting new stuff back in as well, eh? Different stuff in.
So as long as we don't want buyers, it's very important to me that we that sort of buyer's remorse experience from craft beer 5 years ago, where a lot of people were sort of wondering what they're paying the extra money for. So we've always tried to protect that aspect of it. And if there's good beer out there, you can get it. But speed. You'll find a home for it.
That wasn't Greg's noise. Sorry.
But yeah, I do see some gaps from some brands that haven't been able to produce, and yeah, ourselves included. We will probably be in that category for a week or two.
I've upset Greg now. That was Steve's background noise, and I muted Greg because I thought it was his.
I was having guys shouting at each other there.
I muted the wrong person now. I've pissed Greg off. He's gone.
I even muted myself.
Steve, you've obviously canned a lot of stuff. Are you expecting to sell out and be out of stock, or are you still brewing and
So we are going back into production, which is really good news for us. We were in quite a down place when this all happened, because it was looking grim, and we just didn't know when we could open up the bar again, and we had all these staff that were, it was just really tough. So I think now it's about just building the business back up, and going into production slowly is what we're going to do.
Yep.
It's not going to be at any capacity of what we were doing. But the stock that we've got at the moment, I think is going to last. I was brewing more than our system could really hold, before lockdown. So our cold room was full, our tanks were full. But thankfully now with the canning, we've been emptying the tanks and into cans, and so we've still got kegs, which if need be can go into cans. So I think this week is going to be an interesting one for us. We're going to sell a lot of beer. We've had a ton of orders, and I'm quite nervous for next week, but I think we'll be able to handle it with the online platform we've got coming. And then we'll just take it by ear. It's really a matter of us brewing slowly but cautiously, but not anywhere near the capacity we were doing.
I think you guys did a lot of events as well before, which obviously no one's doing any kind of event whatsoever now, so that obviously made a big difference to your
our business model has changed completely, and this is why I say it's been quite exciting at the same time as being a bit stressful, is that we are now looking at the business is completely different. We are now putting our beer into cans and 5-liter kegs, and shipping it around the country and selling it deliveries. We've got delivery guys coming. We got all of that ready for next week. So I don't really know much more than that, but it's going to be.
Have those 5-liter kegs been going down? I always like the idea. I always like the concept.
They're amazing. They're amazing. I think the biggest problem is that they're expensive. The unit cost of these empty 5 liters is quite high, so it inflates the price of the beer inside. But I think once we're able to manage that margin, it's going to work beautifully. And the guys that are interested in them are buying them by the dozen.
You can reuse them, right? I mean, they are reusable.
You can, if you have I'll grab one just now, but they have you get the kegs with like a spear that goes in, and it's got like a little CO2 tap, but then you have to buy all of those. You have to buy all of those tap equipments and so on. We're using the ones that work like a pop suck, where you just draw the thing out, twist it, and pour.
But can't you replace that? Can't you replace that bottom tap on those ones as well and reuse those?
The problem is getting it out of the keg. That's the challenge.
Yeah.
So I've built it.
They are expensive.
Already, but it doesn't work perfectly.
The unit price of those kegs are not cheap.
No, they're not. They're very expensive.
What is the unit price of that keg?
It's about $100 with all the bits and pieces.
Okay, that's quite a lot, because
for 5 liters of beer.
Cans are cans are under £2 a can, I think.
Yeah. So the 5 liters they're great, because for us we're able to put on a price on top of. We say we have the price of the keg, we have the price of our beer, and then we just put on our margin and we sell it, and it's volume, and it works out the way we're selling it at about 30 Rand a pint. And I think guys are happy with it. The thing is they're buying it for the volume. They're not buying it for it. It's kind of like a party trick, really. They're taking it home, and they've got their family or their mate they're drinking it with, and it's
the church gathering.
Yeah, it's 10 liters of beer
Steve,
that doesn't
he
last
just drinks the whole
an hour.
5 liters on his own.
I like them. I've enjoyed them. I've done a test, and I think the 3 days is the longest it'll last. That's far too long in my opinion. But at least on 3 days, you've got the beer still tastes fresh enough, but it's not like it's a little bit flat. That's really 2 days is ideal. 1 day is perfect.
So Cam says you can reuse. You can buy spare bungs, but cleaning is
that's what you need. Brendan has got what you need. That's it.
Yeah,
that's what you need.
Well, we should be selling those things as growlers, right? I mean, like, and getting guys to just instead of returning growlers to you, like returning those little 5 liter kegs.
So I've asked everyone that's pre-bought these things is saying, you know, can we bring them back? And I said, if I'm able to develop a tool that will work for this thing, or like the little plastic bungs that are replaceable, then no problem. We'll give you a reduced price on it.
Brendan, is this still available? Is this gone completely now? You're talking, but you're muted. So hang on a minute. We can't hear you. We can lip read, which is better than we can do with masks.
There we go. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Hear me now?
I think there's 6 or something left. Which I was saying for a beer versus wine shootout with cheese that
Nice.
Murray was arranging. We were hoping to kick some wineries' ass, and that was one of my troubles. So I've been trying to hold on to those 6.
Cameron was asking because he's very jealous that he hasn't had one yet. What size barrel did you use for this, and how long?
It was a port barrel. It was a 225. That's sort of standard French oak, Neva, or I'm not sure how they pronounce that. And it was 5 months, 5 barrel.
Nice.
And then quite a bit of conditioning time in keg, actually, pumped out into 50-liter keg. So yeah, I tried to make a fast sour. I tried to see how complex a sour could I make it. So there was a kettle sour, then a fermentation with a Belgian yeast, then transferred to port barrel with Brett. And after 3 months, you know, I was aiming at 3 months. Could I get a sour in 3 months? And it wasn't. It just did need more time. So it seems like, yes, you can get quite good complexity and character, but not in less than 6 months with that process.
Yeah,
but you're happy the way it turned out, I must say.
It's really it's beautifully clear as well. You can tell it's like conditioned for a decent amount of time in stainless as well. It's Greg, you got a bit of a barrel project there, haven't you? A little bit.
Yeah, we do it occasionally. Like the only one we do regularly is our RIS, which is something we actually started when we were homebrew. Myself and Sean were homebrewing, and then we won that first Devil's Peak homebrew competition with it, and then we brewed it at Devil's Peak. I think we did it in 2013, and that was the homebrew. And then we were busy starting the brewery in 2014, and we entered it as the homebrew thing in 2014, and we won that Devil's Peak homebrew thing with it. And then in 2014, we brewed it with Devil's Peak on their system. And then ever since then, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19, we've brewed every year and barreled it. So that's one thing we do. And then we're about to brew it now. In the next 2 weeks, we'll do 2020. So Brendan's got a case, like literally, it's super rare. The 2018, well, everything is sold out from 2017, 2014, 15, and 16. I think Brendan might have some bottles. 28,
gone.
No, all gone. Okay, I can send. I've got a few of 2015 and 16 left, I think. 2018, I've got one case for you, which is and then became cans. In 2017, we changed to cans because we just felt like the bottles are amazing, but it's such a big beer at 10.5%, 11% that no one wants to drink it alone. So it's much better in a smaller vessel. So we moved it to can, and it sells. It's so much better in can.
The best thing I saw for that beer was those. Remember that can I bought to you that time? That
mini
250 ml. I mean, that's the perfect size for.
We would have done that, but you don't get those cans in South Africa anymore. So
Bev Can don't do them, do they?
But Brendan's got a case of 2018 coming to him and a case to 2019. If you need more 2019, I can send it to you, Brendan.
The answer to more is yes. So
okay, I might actually just add to that order because I've also got what's been selling really well out of barrel is Sean's little side project, which is Dissident Brewing Company. So when we do a beer, it's sort of that. A while ago we did Vacation Fund, which was our bourbon barrel aged stout. After we went to the States, that was 2 years. and we've got 5 cases of that left. It is sold so well during lockdown, and like it's tasting its best now. It really is. It's like tasting amazing at the moment.
That beer was amazing. That beer was amazing about a year ago.
We've got a little bit left, not a lot, a little bit. But yeah, but we sort of had to make a call somewhere along the line, and I spoke to Rochelle, and she and I decided that hoppy beers are going to be our thing for now. So we'll still do 1 or 2 barrel-aged side projects.
Yeah.
We're going to repurpose some of those old beer barrels now, and we're going to put whiskey. We're going to put spirits into them and make whiskey, which is something I've got. I've got a barrel of whiskey already that we did 2 years ago. So it's been sitting for 2 years now, and it's a small 25-liter barrel. So it obviously imparts flavor faster. So like whiskey in a 25-liter barrel is like a 200-liter barrel that's sat for 5 years. 25 liters after 2 years is like 5 years because there's so much more surface area. It sort of works the same. So we'll be messing around with things like that. So
Steve, we just need to get you some barrels now. Maybe we do a collab, do a bit of a barrel project collab thing.
I think we've got a bit more space. We can just take all the kegs out and put barrels where those were.
Like Mike, do you brew with anybody else besides Steve? Are you entered into some sort of relation? Are you guys married?
It's a mutually.
It's mutual.
and you just cheat on him when you need some canning done, and you come to me, or how does it work?
Yeah, well, apparently Steve can can now, so I don't need to.
No, Greg, he doesn't need you anymore.
I don't need to be disloyal anymore.
Yeah, no, we were chatting just now. We're gonna do hopefully at some stage soon. We're gonna do a little collab.
But I want to do a collab with you, Greg, for that for a fruited sour IPA. We need to do that.
Yeah, we can do that. Don't talk to me. Talk to my boss.
Well, I know I said you because you're there.
Yeah, Rochelle makes the decisions.
I love how Rochelle's never there when all the technical questions come up.
He doesn't do technical. I don't do technical.
Steve, have you got any Kolsch going up to Brendan?
I need to chat with him about that. We've got a lot coming. So
he's right there. He's over there.
Where?
There.
Over there.
Yeah.
That would sell better than that Jack Back lager, Brendan. Just saying.
Bring it.
So,
Yeah,
if we've got stock at the end of the week, can we send some up?
For sure.
No, the stock leaves my place on Monday. So so there's a shipment leaving at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Tell
from
the guys to carry on
Monday.
canning quickly.
So get canning. Keep canning.
Keep canning.
If it's here by, like Brendan said, if it's here by Monday, it's going to go.
Go fetch my kids from an illegal play date. So that's probably a line I will never use again. Hope.
That's naughty.
Yeah, very naughty. I hate to leave you guys, but I've got to go break.
No worries, man. Thank you. Thanks for joining.
See you guys.
Bye,
Yeah, Steve.
Bye, Brendan. Yeah. We'll see you
Brendan,
soon.
we'll
Brendan,
chat.
expect some beer.
Buy lots of beer from Best Craft Beer. Supports everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers, mate. Cheers. Oh, you're still
you're
there.
back,
He's back.
Brendan.
Hey!
No, don't do it. No, leave.
Oh.
It's always awkward when you're like, oh, I've just got a house party. Let me go on to YouPorn. Oh, dear. Oh, I'm still on house party. Yeah,
Mike, please.
All the time.
Please don't leave me here with Greg, please.
Yeah, I'm going to go. I'm just going to leave you guys. So Steve, Cam says that he's made a spear for those 5-liter kegs to connect a tap and a CO2 tank, kegerator, and it's about 150 rands worth of parts.
Tell him I'll commission. I'll
Cam
commission
from
him
Southeasters. Yeah, and
Please tell him I'll do it.
brew keg tap sell them too.
If then there we go.
But I think Cam is unemployed at the minute, so I'm sure he can make some for you.
I really believe that it's
like half the country.
It's a packaged product that it works so well.
Yeah.
We've had such good responses from it.
Yeah. Well, you want beer. I mean, people people come to tap rooms for the atmosphere and the socialness of it, obviously, but also because people believe that drinking draft beer is better, right? So, like having a big 5-liter can or keg of beer, people like that, to pour your own rather than opening up a bottle, for instance, and
I think I could.
Greg will argue. Greg will argue.
Just hold it. Look how big it is. It's huge.
It's a tiny keg. It's a tiny keg, Greg.
Hey, don't promote them.
Frontier Brewing Company's left, so we have to talk about tiny keg now.
No, that's Frontier Canny, you idiot.
Oh, that one. Sorry, yeah, that's the one.
Oh, Steve. Oh, Durban boys. Fucking hell.
Check out. This is not beer.
Anyway,
I haven't broken the rules yet.
Is it spirits?
This is beer, even though it doesn't look like beer.
It looks beautiful. It's a blonde, eh? It's that one.
No.
This is the blueberry.
Yeah. So you did show it. I haven't got one of those, have I?
Greg, is this the same recipe as your old American wheat plus blueberry?
I've just got fuck Rona.
So, okay, sorry.
I used to love that American wheat.
Is our wheat beer. This is the wheat beer base. So the original one we did, the Citra American wheat, was this base with dry hopped with cryo Citra. Then this one is the same base, dry hopped with blueberries. We did another one. We actually did. That was the similar base we did for La Colombe. So we did because last season we did La Colombe's red course as a saison, and then this season was supposed to be the American wheat, but without the Citra. But then obviously coronavirus hit, and we ended up with a whole lot of La Colombe beer. Some lucky people purchased that in lockdown, but
for delivery after.
It disappeared. Yeah.
Look at that.
Oof, that's lovely.
Wow, Jesus. Oh yeah, that is.
What is that?
By the way, that's 8%.
Is that Corona?
That's fuck Rona.
That's
fine. Last week I was quite depressed because it was looking like beer wasn't going to be sold until level 1. You know those comments that they made. We're talking about level 1, and we were doing a show talking about soup with Fraser. So I had Fraser's barley wine, and what else did I have? I had some. Nick was supposed to join, so I opened but he forgot. So I opened the typical Nick. So I opened the Ocean Age triple as well, and polished off that 750 ml. So it got quite messy and quite morbid and quite depressing last week. So I'm really glad this week has been way more positive and fun and yeah.
There's hope. I think that's
exactly.
Well,
yeah.
Did we stop selling beer?
Yeah.
Greg, you're a child.
Yes, of course we did. Yeah,
You're a child.
Of course it is. Yeah.
Just check your SARS bill. It's tiny.
What?
All your accountant must be looking at all these pre-orders that the stock's got to go out as soon as Monday hits.
This is nice. So, Greg's gone. Tell me about this, Greg. So
I'll tell you on his behalf.
I'm still here.
So I went surfing and I made this beer, and it's about Corona.
Choc nut flavors bounce off the tongue. So fuck Rona and get down with this brown. What else is it to say?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, you don't want the part about us getting high. The top part's better.
Oh, I can't read though. With jack shit to do, we brewed a brown because Ronat was getting us down. We mashed and boiled, drank and got high. But when we came down, the end was still nigh. You should have gone into poetry, man.
I am into poetry.
You'd have made way more money than beer. Fucking hell. I mean, like, poetry's where it's at.
Probably not.
Shakespeare, Casey.
Probably not.
It's not illegal.
Isn't it? I thought poetry
it
was
might
illegal
be.
at the moment.
Might be a lot of poets commenting now saying, no, we can't fucking work either. Spreads the virus.
Okay, boys and girls. Oh, what a day!
This is great, but it's not a typical. It's not like, I mean, like I lived in Newcastle in the UK for about 4 years. It's not like Newcastle brown ale at all. It's way heavier.
What's the percent of
Yeah,
this?
no. Well, it's about
8.
8.
Wow.
It's not supposed to be a light brown. We're in fucking lockdown. We're coming out of lockdown. People can drink again. I'm not gonna make them a 2%. I might as well make a fucking.
It's a session brown ale, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a session brown. Yeah, and we wanted it to be a little bit nutty and a little bit like fuck Rhoda, and let's get totally blind drunk on our first day of drinking alcohol again. And no, that's very irresponsible. I didn't say that at all. I didn't say it. Steve said it. That guy, irresponsible Steve.
But I'm calling in sick on Tuesday.
Calling it 6%, right?
I'm calling in sick on Tuesday.
What day is it today?
Friday.
I don't know anymore.
Who cares?
Hangover Tuesday, isn't it, or something? It's a thing.
Exactly.
It's been amazing. This reset button of being like, it's a Sunday. I'm at work. Or it's a Monday. It's a Sunday.
Who cares?
Doesn't make much difference. This is lovely.
Good. I should hope so.
It's better than Newcastle brown ale.
It's also stronger. Finish it. When you have your second one, you'll be dancing around the room. You'll be like, "This is the best beer I've ever had ever."
This was 7.4% apparently. It didn't drink like a 7.4%.
You put Simcoe in the brown.
No, this is the other one. This is that one.
Agent Hillary.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've just noticed that this was 7.4.
Yes, it is.
It's probably why I can't read anymore. And then this was 7% from Brendan.
You're in the big guys today.
Well, I started well. This was nice. 4.5%. Nice sessionable.
Oh, well, that's fruit juice, man. That's fruit juice.
I just don't have a beer from Steve. That's my problem.
Oh, Steve.
I try to share the love around a bit here, but
well, Steve was busy surfing, so that's why he couldn't get you beer. So
I spend. I think I drink too much Kolsch out of Steve's tanks to have any.
First thing. Yeah. What's it doing? Is Anderson doing it, or is he?
Who's
Anderson?
Where's Anderson?
No, that's fine.
Where's Anderson?
Who's Allison?
Where's Anderson? We want to see him.
Anderson.
We've missed him.
Wait, hold on. Call him the main member, yeah.
Z Brewer.
Anderson, come up here quickly.
This is the guy that really knows. This is the guy that really knows how to brew Kolsch.
There we go. Put this in. Say hello.
Hello.
Anderson, hey. How are you?
I'm good, and you?
Good. How's the brewing going there?
We are running a little bit. We are canning now.
Is it home time? Oh, it's 5
Yeah.
minutes +5, Steve. Come on.
Yeah,
Way too long.
ask him.
Now we're running flat out, eh?
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Okay.
You are feeling good there. You are drinking. I can see.
Yeah, of course.
Check he's drinking a brown ale.
You're drinking in lockdown.
It's illegal.
Yeah, you're allowed to drink. You just can't buy it. I haven't bought any.
That's illegal.
Sort of. No, not drinking. It's not illegal. Only buying and transporting. When you can home brew, then it's fine.
Hey, Mike, just tell Anderson that he has to get his recipe to me now, because I've given him about 3 months to make a recipe so we can do a brew together. His recipe.
Yeah. What are you gonna brew? What's he gonna brew?
What are you gonna brew?
Brew Kolsch.
No, you're not gonna do Kolsch.
Not a Kolsch, like a Kolsch.
Steve does a Kolsch already. You need to go out of the box.
Yeah, you want to do a pale or something.
What about a sour IPA, Anderson? We can do that.
Remember the sour one that Mike did?
Yes.
Come in the camera. Yeah.
I remember your beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll make a
This is
dark
nice.
one.
Make a stout. Make a coffee stout
Yeah, Steve, you're gonna teach
for
me.
winter. For winter. with like proper nice coffee.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get some nice coffee.
Okay.
Cold brew, fucking, yeah.
Okay.
What about
Okay,
those guys
sick.
opposite you? They do coffee, eh?
No, Dando, those oaks,
Yeah.
I've been chatting with the guys. They've been running full time, so it'll be nice to get their coffee and do something cool.
Yeah, do a nice proper cold press.
It's quite nice to have time to work on these things for a change.
There's no time.
Okay, you must go. You must go. Okay, cheers, bye.
Go can some Kolsch for Brendan.
Tomorrow, first thing.
What have you got there, Greg?
Same time.
What have you just poured yourself?
This is the new batch of
8:30.
Obsession, straight from tank.
That hop
So
session has changed quite a bit, eh?
We've been tweaking it back and forth and trying to find a balance and things like that. So
That latest batch, I think
we-
Rochelle bought it to Shackleton when we were brewing one, Steve. Didn't she? Was that hop session? Yeah.
Yeah.
we've sort of settled where we want to be from it. It's such an old beer. The problem with Obsession is that it was probably the most hoppy beer you had when we first brewed that. When we were still what was it called? The Craft Beer Project. That's when we made the recipe. That was like 2012, 2011, somewhere around 2012.
Before craft beer really existed here.
Yeah, so back then it was the hoppiest beer you've ever had in South Africa. Now it's like not very hoppy at all. So it's difficult. We've been trying to keep it up. So we're not sure what we want to do with it, but it's a great session beer. You know, as a pale ale, it's hoppy enough, not too hoppy. It's like I said, it's a lot more hoppy than your normal pale ale.
Yeah.
But
that's
we've tried to keep it up with the times, if you know what I mean.
That's like a lot of those beers, though. I mean, like people often say about Blockhouse, about it losing its hoppiness, but is that the case, or have we just like grown to expect more? You know, and
exactly, yeah. So
and also like even like you talk about beers like that, you like Heady Topper. You know, the beer that started the Nipah revolution, like, or the Nipah craze. People don't see that as
anymore.
No, it's not, eh? I mean, it's not a Nipah anymore. Yeah. But I mean, that was the beer that started it all. But it's not. It's not crazy. And
I think this is as cloudy.
But we did go to the brewery in Vermont when I was over there, and it's still a phenomenal beer, like fresh from taps. But they've got another beer called Focal Banger, which is probably I preferred a lot more. But yeah. Times change.
Well, I can tell you now, the dissonance of the hop session, if you're ordering beer from us for next week, that beer is so fresh, it's being canned on Sunday for sale on Monday. So, yeah, it's going to be all new batches. Everything else has been sold out already and shipped to Brendan. So,
absolute favorite.
But the new batches are coming out. So all our new batches will be coming out. The new 157 Session IPA, which is just, if you want a beer you can drink all day, it's just crazy. 3.5%, all cryo hops.
Greg, I think your hop session is the perfect beer for like folks to get into the IPA range.
Yeah,
it's the sessionability of it, but it's just
that
punch
and
of
like,
aroma.
And hoppy wheats and those sort of beers that are so drinkable, but like not offensive. Although like your hop session has, like you say, like the hop character has grown a lot recently with it as well. So
well, I can tell you there's one thing. I think lockdown, like we all got to be fair, I think a lot of bootlegging has been going on.
I haven't heard any of it.
I know what you mean, but it's made quite a difference. I think craft beer is going to come out of this. Like whoever comes out is going to come out strong. People are going to like, especially the support local vibes and things like that. I think your local butcher, your local baker, your local craft beer brewery.
It's actually so cool to see how that
coming out of this. It's really changed people's minds, changed people's minds about how they shop and where they shop. And I hardly shop at the supermarkets anymore because they're so busy. I go to my butcher up the road. I don't have to wait in the queue. I go to the bakery. I don't have to wait in the queue. I go to the veg. I don't have to wait in the queue. Supplier that used to send does meat for banana jam.
Yeah.
He now does home deliveries. And his meat's amazing.
Yeah,
cool. So like all this stuff, I think our whole world is going to change. Where supermarkets, I think, are going to be on the down, and you're going to get your stuff.
I hope so.
And also, we've learned to have time.
Yeah.
You can walk the shop and buy your groceries. You don't go and do a monthly shop. You got to get out and about because the government might not let you go out next week.
It's also cool how you can see that your spending changes. You're spending on things that's more important, and whether it's food that's good or wholesome or whatever, you'd rather spend on that than on the convenience, the small convenience of going to the big supermarkets.
Well,
and these guys, like Woolies, they don't care about you. They care about share prices, and that's it. And they care about
your stats.
And they don't care about your suppliers. They'll try and screw the suppliers, and they screw the consumers, and they make a lot of money in between. And that's, if you're going to spend money with Greg at Banana Jam on a meal and some beers, you know where that money's going. You can see staff walking around. You can there's no little bit going here and then the rest of it going to this non-existent entity that doesn't actually care about anything.
That's even in our own country.
Growth is growth, but growth is growth. And, I have a big restaurant, which might be bigger than other people's, but, you do get to a point where, the bigger you grow, the less your customer interaction is or whatever it is. So, it is difficult, but, and you can't punish people for being successful. It's just how you deal with success, I suppose.
But it's not punishing success. I mean, if you open a second and a third Banana Jam, for argument's sake, it's still you, But when if you get massive,
I've done that, and it's fucking hard to do and still keep it you.
But I mean, if I go there, I still know that it's you, But if
no, I think it's more important. I think there's a different issue there that the CEOs of the big companies or the big chains are not even involved in their companies. It's to the point where they just have a portfolio of restaurants, and that's
the
level of ownership where it changes, I think.
Or they're not beer. Someone buys a brewery, but they're not really beer people. Their interest is in a food product, but they buy a brewery because they think that's cool, and it's not. Yeah,
I think it's very different to having a restaurant or a chain of restaurants.
The church service is over. Time to find a new religion.
Yeah. Speaking of church services, I've got to go do some work.
We have gone way over time, so I probably should wrap this up. But I'm enjoying it rather than being depressed. I'm actually having a good time and getting quite drunk. So,
well, guys, enjoy. I've got to get out of here. I'm going to get downstairs. We're in the middle of.
Thank goodness Greg is leaving.
Shut up, Steve. I thought you were coming here to have a beer with me anyway.
If I wasn't working, I would.
Thanks, guys.
Look like you're working. Guys, thanks for the day. Thanks for the talk.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for
the
picture of Steve.
Homage, Steve. I appreciate you guys for joining. It was obviously a pretty hectic time of the lockdown prohibition era to take some time out to join, but I really appreciate it.
Sure.
Thanks.
No problem at all, Mike. I enjoyed it.
Cheers.
Bye.
Right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And please check out Best Craft Beer, Afro Caribbean's online bottle shop, Shackleton's bottle shop, and any of your local guys that are selling beer from Monday onwards. we'll really appreciate the support. And we're going to take a break next week, so there's no Friday beers next week, but we're going to change the format slightly, and going forward, we're going to do some more of this, like tasting people's beers that have just been released now that they can actually sell beers. So yeah, don't tune in next Friday, but tune in again for another episode soon. Cheers.